Hello, it is me, Mr. Cat here, bringing you the second instalment of my Southampton career mode. I apologise for there being no audio in the first one. I forgot to turn my mic on stupidly, but I do hope you enjoyed it without the audio. I'll make sure to have audio in every single one after this. This one, I start looking at this man, Yilmas. Yeah, Yilmas. He's a fantastic player on FIFA 13, so I thought I'd better check him out here. So yeah, also this also shows that you don't just have to be doing the global scouting network, because that way you find the players, and then this way you can just search players that you already know, and you get people to scout them, and it works really well. I find the best thing to do is if you have a certain player if they have one player that you really want, that you think is going to be very useful for your team, you know their name, type them in on here so you can find them straight away, and then you send a scout out to scout them. If you're looking for a variety of people who you're trying to find, then I would highly recommend using the global transfer network in order to send your scout out to find the best possible players in that position for your personal recommendations for the scout. This episode, sorry, I'll be continuing here, and we'll sing the first two friendly matches. I think is what happens in this game. In this one, we don't think much happens here really. It is simply just getting into the squad, getting the career mode sorted out, trying to make some advantage of the amount of money I have now that I have purchased the transfer increase thing, but budget takeover, I think it is. But anyway, so this is obviously episode 2. It will be titled Yilmas. That is, if I can spell his name right with the accent. But yeah, if any of you, I want to know about you guys. Have you got FIFA 14 yet? Anyone got it? If you have, put it in the comments. I'd like to hear how you're finding it, if you enjoy it.
A vast virus database has been updated.
Yeah, my virus database is just updated, which is always useful, but not in the middle of recording. But here you see the global transfer network at its best. Obviously, I searched for a goalkeeper, a young one who's going to be promising in the future. Of course, Zablet pops up. He's 17. He looks like a good goalkeeper. He could be a good keeper in the future, really. But he's young, probably a bit too young for what I'm aiming for, because of course I'm supposed to be finishing around that EuroLeague position this year, thanks to the board. So it's really between him and George Long, I think. George Long, because he looks like a solid keeper. I did use him in FIFA 13 and he was pretty good then. And that Zablet guy as well, because he's young, he's new, and he looks like an okay. He could be an okay keeper in 4 or 5 years' time, but I'll need an okay keeper in 2 or 3 years' time. So yeah, of course, what I'm planning to do with this career mode is to play out my first season with Southampton and achieve their goal they want here. Then I'll be looking to get to the Champions Cup season after, and then I'll be pushing until I can finally win the Premier League. And when I've done that, I'll leave it down to you whether you want me to stay at Southampton or if you want me to move to another club. I'll be the same manager. I'm going to go through the whole 15 years of the management. All the youth in the whole game gets to adjust, and nothing's the same. So I'm going to try and get 15 seasons for this. That's why it's FIFA 14 career mode separated from Southampton, not Southampton career mode on FIFA 14. So this box with Southampton, say in 4 or 5 seasons, maybe it'll end up with, I don't know, Spartak Moscow or something like that. Maybe even Shrewsbury if they get into the Premier League, or whoever you want to put me with. Obviously there'll be job offers and you have to accept one of them, or you can just have me to stay here. Once again, I'm going to go back in the global transfer network and look at the updates that my scouts has received on Yilmas here. Yilmas is a top quality player. He really is a very good player. And I've already sent in I've inquired about his price. That's something else I very recommend you do. When you're using the global transfer network, you can't see anything. You can't see anything about the player at all. But an idea of a way to find out how good a player is if you ask for an inquiry. So I inquired there, and I got 14 million for Yilmas. That obviously tells me that he is going to be a good player. He's going to be at least 80 rated, surely. George Long here, I've inquired. He's 750,000. That tells me he's going to be mid to high 60s at his age, and he's going to have a high potential as well, of hopefully around 86 to 88. Something else I'm looking at is for high potential teams, of course, for Southampton, because that's what most of our club is. I say our club because if you don't know, I am a big Southampton fan. I know the club inside out, back to front, whatever you want. I know the gyps and every nook and cranny of the team, and that's why I'm looking in here now for something I think we're going to need, because of course we've loaned out Mayuka in real life and I've updated to this squad and I can't really be able to bring him back. So I'm now looking for someone who can play in that sort of position, who can get in front of goal and put it in the back of the net for me. Of course, with the Global Transfer Network, I don't know who I'm going to look for, so I'm going to put it in the Global Transfer Network and hope that they can find me a good, solid player. Of course, it's unlikely they will, but if they do, then it's fantastic. Yeah, I've set up my Southampton team in the 4-2-3-1 formation. I did that in the first episode, but you won't be able to hear anything, so I'm going to tell you now. I've set it up like that. The reason I've done this is because it allows me to get I think the best out of my team. I have Warwick in goal, who's a top quality player. In goal, he's 32, so I'm going to have to look for the young player, which is what I've got. So I sent out the scout to find me a young goalkeeper. Of course, I've got Luke Shaw at left back, who's going to be with me until the end, because he's fantastic. Klein at right back, who will be with me to the end again, because he is also fantastic. And the centre back pairing, I have Dejan Lovren, and I put my Yoshida there, because personally I think Yoshida is better than Font, even though Font has a higher overall rating. I think Yoshida's better because he has a bit more pace on him, and that's about it. I mean, pace isn't everything, but Lovren isn't that quick, but in a turn of pace it's very important to have someone there just in case you do come up against, you know, Mayukas or something. So we see him this first friendly match here, and we win it 3-1 quite comfortably. The upsetting thing though is Ricky Lambert receives an injury. Ricky Lambert is a player that I will be looking to keep until the end, because he is a Southampton legend. He will be with us, he'll be in our hearts forever. Super Ricky. I will not be selling Ricky Lambert on. I think it's this episode, the next episode, or maybe even the first episode, that I receive a transfer offer for Ricky Lambert. And this is something else I really like about this game. You know, you in FIFA 13 and stuff, and you have one player that you really want to keep, but it was really good. For example, I did a Shrewsbury career mode on my own. I had Adrian. Every day I'd be getting like 2 or 3 offers for Adrian, and I would reject all of them until I got finally 50 million from Barcelona, and I can't really reject that, can I? But until then I was getting offers like 15 million, 17, 18, okay, I'm getting 5 million once. I was like, why on earth would you even try that? But if you really want to keep hold of a player and you don't want to have to keep going back in and out that office, when you go to click on the player to reject their offer, if you go down to the bottom it says reject this offer and ignore all future offers for this player. That allows you to press that button, and that way you no longer have to worry about receiving transfer requests for that player. I sent out a scout, of course, a scout future star, and he has found me a striker. It's looking like a centre forward there, so obviously I'm going to scout this guy. I'm going to make sure I keep hold of him because he could be very, very good in the future. And I mean very, very good. He says it goes up to 94, but of course that first overall looks 44 to 53. So that's now going to tell me really that that's probably going to go down a bit. My assistant manager is talking about the press conference coming up for the next match and things like that. Yeah, it's not really that important. I like the new layout of the career mode. It looks snazzy, if I'm honest. And there is the strikers that Dean Murray guy has found with his scouting. He's found one player who I think I'll look into, and then later on, I think it's this episode as well, I send out another scout and the same thing to Spain, and he finds me Jesse Rodriguez. And Jesse Rodriguez is a fantastic player. My friend has him in Ultimate Team. He is fantastic. I really do highly recommend you get it in Ultimate Team or even Career Mode if you want. So here we go, we're now making an offer for George Long. Of course he's 19, so he's still quite young. We don't know his overall, which is the important thing about why you definitely need to inquire so you get the idea of what the overall is. So he's gonna have an overall of about 64 to 67, maybe even 68 if I'm lucky. And of course that's because he's young, that's why he's that much money. If he was a 30-year-old who's worth that, he would be worth, he'd be worth about 200 grand about that. But because he's young, he's worth $750,000. because of his youth and his possible growth in the future. I do, of course, have Gazaniga as a goalkeeper, but it takes him to get to about 74 before his stats start to really kick in. And he's at 64 now, so I have to grow him by 10 points before I can really use him properly, and it takes him forever to get grown as well. It takes him about 4 or 5 years before he even reaches that 10 adding bit. Obviously this season I'm looking for a squad that's going to allow me to finish in the top 6. Of course, Ricky Lambert, they're saying he's a bit jagged after his injury. Luckily he was only out for 7 days. But yeah, I was told by Ricky Lambert there. And I'm looking for a team that's going to allow me to finish top 6 quite comfortably. I'm looking for 5th or 6th this season, preferably 5th, that way I don't have to do the whole thing. And they want me to do the whole, whatever it is. Oh, I've forgotten what it is now. Oh, look at me, brilliant. The qualifiers, that's the one. I won't have to do qualifying, I'll just go straight into the group stage for the Europa League. Meaning I have to play less games next season. But yeah, I've also been told to reach the round of 16 of a cup. I think, to be honest, if I'm going to focus on one cup, I'm probably going to want to try and focus on the FA Cup, because that's going to be more rewarding for me. However, I'll be able to use the English League Cup or the Cup of the One Cup as a chance to play some youth, get some players out there, get them, you know, up a bit, up their stats, get them playing well, creating chances, getting goals, whatever. And if I do start to progress well when it gets to about the quarter-final area, I will probably start to look at possibly winning that trophy. It's around 16, that's fine, that means I've completed my manager's task there. But if I manage to get to the quarter-final, I can really do some damage, I think. I can win that, and that will allow me to play the FA Cup, knowing I've already won another trophy, because of course the FA Cup comes after that. I should get through the first 2 or 3 rounds of the FA Cup for me. Actually, the third round I should get through quite easily, I think. Unless I get some ridiculously good team somehow. But of course, English League Cup is going to come up first. I'm going to play youth and look for the younger players to break into the squad. Here we have a sim match against Real Sociedad, and we draw 2-2, which is fine considering we have no Ricky Lambert. So our main source of goals this season, I think, one of our main source of goals was along with Osvaldo, Lallana, and Gaston Ramirez wasn't playing. But yeah, I'm going to look to play youth, get them up, allow them to progress, so I can have 70s on all high 70s on the starting 11 and the bench and the first bit of the reserves as well. So of course this season, let's go back to the squad. What's about the squad now? I set it up in this formation, in this 4-2-3-1 formation, because it allows me to play 2 defensive midfielders in Wanyama and Schneiderlin, who are very good players, and then have 3 attacking midfielders with Lallana in the middle of them, Osvaldo on the left hand side of them so he can cut in on his right boot, and Ramirez on the right hand side of them so he can cut inside on his left boot. It's a very highly rated attack. I've got 78 or 79 rated attack, I think it is now. Of course, Ricky Lambert up top on his own with the 76 overall rating. It is very good, I think, to be honest. As I'm recording this, I've already played my first game of the season, and I did do well in it. I will let that slip now. I did do very well in my first game of the season against West Brom, of course, because it is the real real fixtures for the season. Now if you look at the global transfer network, you'll see that it shows through the players that they've scouted. And here you see Burak Yilmas has received another thing here, and we're going to come to the end of the video in a minute. We've only got about 10 seconds left, so you can archive messages now. But thanks for watching, guys.